So I finished Super Mario RPG and I really liked it. This is just going to be a very short, minimalist review to try to give you my overarching thoughts of the game. As someone who absolutely loves the original to death, I was very excited for this, and I was also kind of cautious of it. It looked like it was more or less the same game, so I tried not to get my hopes raised way too high. It was going to be this grand reinvention of it. And I think it succeeds in a lot of areas. So first off, yes, it is essentially the same game as the first one. It's basically one-to-one, aside from the new features added, like the gauge, which is really fun, and perfect hit splash damage. I found the character percent gauge to actually make combat even more fun than it was in the original. The only thing though is that both of these things in conjunction with the splash damage makes the game immensely easier than it already was. Now, the solution is basically just to not go for them and stuff, but I don't know. I feels like this could have used maybe a difficulty setting since they added an easier mode anyway. I really like the new CGI cutscenes they've added, but I do feel like they kind of feel weird and uncanny valley because they have no sound effects whatsoever. This doesn't affect my overall thoughts on it, but I just wanted to mention it because I found it weird. My major disappointment with the game is that it didn't actually go the extra mile to fix some of the problems I have with the original. I absolutely adore Super Mario RPG, but it has some serious problems in regards to its platforming. Precision platforming was difficult in many areas of the original game, and I found it pretty frustrating at times, particularly when trying to climb up to Nimbus Land. And I was really excited for this remake to be fully 3D formally, because it was a great opportunity to fix these problems, but it really didn't make it that much easier to do these things. I still found myself struggling to make precise jumps. Not a huge deal, but if you're going to remake the entire game, this was a place that the original genuinely had a lot of room for improvement. Obviously the star of the show is the art direction though. This game looks incredible, and the reorchestrated music is just phenomenal. Alrighty, we're heading into spoiler territory, so I just want to make it clear this is specifically in relation to things after the main game. I'm so glad they added post-game content. I was always looking for excuses to spend more time in this world, and this is great. Obviously the added content's not the most major thing in the world, but I do enjoy it, and, you know, something is better than nothing. Was surprised they didn't add a New Game Plus though. It's an incredibly faithful remake, and I think the reason for that is that they just want the game to be accessible, seeing as the rights to the original is all scattered around the place. So no complaints from me that it's essentially the same game with a new coat of paint. It makes sense to do with this one. I will say, however, that between the two versions, I would consider this one the definitive way to experience Super Mario RPG if you haven't yet. So if you decide to take this one on as your first exposure to it, I can highly recommend that. I really liked it, and I would recommend it.